All right, everybody, we're back. This time we are addressing the HPI that I bought. So I got this thing for 50 bucks. Pull starter was not pulling. A motor did rotate. It was really slow though. It was like gummed up. He said it hasn't run and he doesn't know how long. And it did run when it was parked. So he said it could be a one-way bearing, whatever. He didn't look into it. I took it apart the other night and I cleaned the one-way bearing and it was rotted. Like it looked like it, not rotted. It was like, yeah, surface rust, gummed up. It wouldn't move. Oh, it would move both directions. It wouldn't lock. So I sprayed some WD, whatever, cleaned it. And now I put WD in the motor and in the slide of the carburetor because they were both really gummed up. Like it would rotate, but it would take a lot. So before I ever like rotated and moved that thing a lot, I'd put WD, let it soak. So now I have a pull starter that's like perfect, and the motor rotates and has, as you can hear, insane compression. It pulled the WD in to the motor like that. So this is a 3.5, which is the biggest motor I've ever had as the nitro car. The previous one was a 2.5 racing motor from Traxxas, and I've never even had a 3.3. So I'm excited to see how this thing performs. But four-wheel drive, all original, even came with the original controller, and everything works. I put batteries to the case, everything works. Like the controller binds and it turns, it works. So for 50 bucks, this is crazy. I mean, and I don't know it's gonna run. I have an extremely strong feeling. So we'll get to that. First things first, let's just get you in here. There is goop in the, oh, hang on, in the tank. So before I suck that into the carburetor, I'm going to put acetone in there just a little bit to soak the bottom, slosh it around, let it sit while I clean the air filter and pour that out, because I don't even want to put new fuel in that until the tank's cleaned. So you can tell the motor's been this thing's been sitting for a while. I think the guy recently moved into an apartment and it just, falls by the wayside. He also had a nice Subaru that was broken apart, but that's beside the point. So let's throw in some acetone that I have sitting here and let that sit. Just gonna spill that everywhere. Yep, perfect. Alrighty. Well, now that about 80% of the acetone is on the table and about 20% is in the tank, we'll let that sit and do what it does. There we go. Definitely cleaning, so that's good. All right. So another thing I got to do is see if I got some AA's. I'm not going to use these for the car's servo system. I don't like that design. It's cheap. They sell nickel metal hydrides you can recharge that hold a better charge than that. And but for the time being, I'm going to throw that in the Sen and the HPI. I have a bunch of those casings that hold the AA's. I don't know if any of them even work though. They're all out of old cars, and honestly I need to go through and test them, and if they don't, just throw them out. So let's do some testing here while the tank sits, and then we can also take the Sen out and fire that up and hopefully run it today. That's the plan, is to give it its first drive. Also need to get rid of some batteries here. I'm selling off a plane. I don't fly at all, and pretty sure the battery's in here. Oh yeah, that's the battery to go with it. So we'll get into plane stuff next video. If all goes well with this HPI, that'll probably be the only video you see of it. I have a Turbo Timber UMX, like 600 or 700 millimeter, that needs to be re-glued horribly. Got it for like $100, and dude's like, oh, it flies great. Yeah, flies horribly. It doesn't fly good at all. So I don't have much seat time or stick time on the controller for planes. So maybe it was my flying, but when I got it up in the air, man, it was more unstable than anything I've flown before. Not gonna blame the guy right out the box, but that thing, it was broken in 18 different places. So I'm just gonna break it. But he glued it, nothing was like level. It didn't line up. So we're gonna break it back, glue it back together with some Gorilla Glue that I gotta go pick up, and then we'll do that video. But for right now, let's see if these packs work and I can just throw them. Thing is, I don't want to buy batteries and then have them sit in a car, you know what I mean? So if I buy a battery pack, it's got to be used. I have a battery pack in the TA because I drive it a lot. So I don't want to have a bunch. These can sit in like cars that are just going to sit up on the shelf and get driven every, I don't know how long, not very often. But you know, I got to see if everything works. Direct current. Nah, see, I'm only getting 3 volts at, there's 4 of them in there. So only 2 of them are sending voltage, which means maybe the leads are dirty or something. I'm sure I could clean it up, but these things are like, you can get like a pack of them for like $6 and you get 6 of them. They're basically $1 each. It's almost not even worth putting the money or the time into cleaning the leads here. But I'll give it one more try. What the heck? Yeah, okay, so that battery packet or holder is toast. Can't use that. This one came in the Sen. It already seems to be broken, but we'll see. Yeah, this one came in that car. It's not corroded though, so maybe it does work. And of course it doesn't have an end on it, so I can take the end. Actually, speaking of which, because that's bad, I can take the end off of that and put it on here. I always forget to save those. They're pretty useful. Nothing. Dang, man. That sucks. Yeah, that's no voltage. That's crazy. Let's try from here to the other side on this guy. It's only got 1.7. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, so that's 2 battery packs broken. No shocker there, as these both came out of really old cars, so really old, like basically old enough that when I opened it up, the battery pack, the batteries that were in the packs were blown up. So right then and there, you know, okay, this is going to be a useless container for them. Hey, we got one that works. 6.5 right off of it. So this will go in the Sen. That's fantastic. That means the Sen now is 100% ready to run and drive. I also did the alignment on the Sen. Figured it was worth it since it runs. So you can see it now, the wheels. I have a little bit of toe in the rear, and the front has a tiny bit of toe out. Yeah, let's put that battery pack in. I have the original antenna holder. I soldered on a new antenna to that receiver that I had. Speaking of which, that's supposed to go over here. So that long antenna really doesn't do much. That's great. Found another one of these on Amazon for like $60, $7 shipped, and it is destroyed. It needs another. It's another one that needs a refurbish, but I'm thinking of offering the guy like 50 bucks. Last thing I need though is more projects. I really have too many, so I'm not gonna do that until I am bored stiff with nothing to do. All right, let's test this now. Make sure it's 100% going to work. Throw this back in the truck, and then we can run this in whenever I feel like it. There we go, that's safe that way. Oh, see, that's annoying. So the on-off switch works. Check that out. I throw on my controller. The Sen is drivable, man. It is remote controlled drivable, and the failsafe is already set. Fantastic. Off button. That is amazing. Oh, that makes me so happy. So I could just close this up, but I'm gonna take the batteries out until I'm ready to run. Batteries ain't cheap. You know, you see them. You see what brand they are. Thunderbolt Edge. Ain't none of that Magnum series from Harbor Freight. You know I'm spoiling myself. I'm so sorry. That was probably so cringy. Alrighty. Everything's plugged in. I can't even believe that. That's awesome. So we have a battery pack. I can get rid of those two. Frig yes. The Sen is a running and driving vehicle. Fully functional. That's crazy. I gotta check this guy. I think it came out of a controller that came with the TA. And I just dumped the controller because I couldn't get it to work, even with voltage getting sent to the controller. And I'll be honest, I sent like 12 volts through the controller by accident because I didn't realize what I was hooking up to it. That really hurt it to the point where it said, I'm not gonna work anymore. You're on your own. Kind of head out. So this, what's that? 1.5 times 4, okay. I'm getting 2 volts. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah. All right, so that's toast as well. I would never really use this either. All right, so these are all trash. Thunderbolt Edge. I have to go through all my batteries and just check the voltage on them. I don't have many upstairs, but the ones I do have, I need to check the voltage so I'm not just wasting batteries. Alrighty, back to our scheduled thing, which is doing the air filter on this. This is read 1.5. This is sitting in the HPI. That battery's good. Check that out. No way I got a free 4 batteries in this thing. Let's go. 1.5. Okay. Oh, dead. That's 3 good batteries out of that batch. Dang, I don't honestly believe that. Yeah, yep, that's it. Okay. Alrighty. So let's do this. I'm gonna turn that back on so that there's, you know, less background noise. Alrighty. I'm large to that. I've been doing a little bit of editing on the videos not taking too long to do a lot of editing. So at least it's like a phone app I use. I don't really go. I'm trying to go on the computer. I feel like it's so much harder right now and so much work. So that I don't feel like doing. All right, let's see how this filter looks. Usually they just fall apart. I think this one's just needs to be cleaned a little bit. So there we go. Let's go wash this thing, huh? Wash the casing as well. I like that it's got a casing still. Most of these things are, you get a used one and the filter's missing because people take them out and just don't really care for them. I'll use some lightly soapy water, Dawn, just to get some of the grease out. Usually when these things get wet too, they just fall right apart. So hopefully that doesn't happen. No, it doesn't. All right, good. I'll set this in front of the dehumidifier and wait to run the car until this is clean, because I am not going to run the car until I have a filter. Well, I'll run it, like I'll turn it on, but I'm not going to go driving it until the filter is cleaned or dry. Suck water into it. A whole lot of mess. So. Of course, the casing we can just use some degreaser. I'm so happy it has the original airbox. It's so cool to me. RC cars, nitro cars always have if it's an original, it's always got some special intake box on it or something that is always missing, because it's, you take it off to work on the carburetor or throw fuel down it and get it to fire off, which is what I'm about to do. But then you never remember to put it back on, and then you just left your air filter sitting somewhere. So. Alrighty guys, I think it's time to let this thing breathe. Let's go see if the HPI will fire off. I'm sure it will. Alright, this car's first start and I don't know how long. Let's see how this goes. I'll put some down the yap here. Just a little bit. See if it'll pull fuel in. Oh, it sure will. Holy crap, that's a lot. That was fast. Alright, I have a strong feeling it's going to fire right off. And I just somehow got this for 50 bucks. Okay. Wow. That was immediate. Hey. Huh? Oh yeah. The fiddle start. There it goes. said it. It definitely ran. The fuel pickup line at the bottom of the tank has like this sponge and it's just destroyed. So it's pulling fuel through that sponge and it's somehow turning it blue. There's red fuel in the tank, it's turning it blue. Unless I'm missing something. I don't understand. But I'm gonna get the tank out, clean the tank, and then this thing will be ready to run. But 50 bucks, this thing is, I didn't even do anything. I cleaned the pull starter and that was it. So I'd say that's a huge win for 50 bucks. Thanks guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and definitely comment. See y'all.